Welcome back to the X to Fat channel. We're trying to get our fat off our bodies and we're trying to gain muscle growth. This is going to simplify it up and show you the basics of it. I will have other videos coming out showing more about all the benefits of each and every single food out here. But today is really just trying to get you the basics down and why I'd go ahead and use and eat certain foods and drinks. To start it right out, the number one thing you need to put in your body is water, and a gallon of it. And you're going to say, that's too hard. I get it. It's okay. We'll get through this. I'm going to show you how you can get it through. I have an old Gatorade bottle, which I now use my water bottle. I drank one of those on the way in. That's 28 ounces. My way into work, I should say. And then when I get to work, the first 4 hours, I'll drink another one. So that's 28 ounces. And then I have 12 ounces when I'm at lunch. And then the second half of my work day, I have another 28 ounces. So when I get home, or on the way home, I should say, I drank my last 28 ouncer. And that's going to give me 4 bottles of 28 ounces and 1 12 ounce at lunch. So when I go to bed to take my medicine or supplements, I'm going to have at least another 12 ounces. And that covers it. That's a gallon, roughly. A little bit more if you're doing the 28 ouncer. So that's how you can get a gallon in a day. And it won't be that hard. And you won't feel like that you have to chug one of those big old things with marks on it. Forget that. I ain't messing with that. That'll get warm and nasty. No, just do something simple like that. Just realize what your goals are and get it done. You'll take care of it. So right next into it is the proteins, and you need to get proteins into your system. Excuse me, amino acids, etc. And you got to have ones that absorb. Whey protein absorbs very easily into your system. We can't substitute food with whey protein. This is just a supplement to help us get our goal of your lean body mass grams of protein, meaning if I'm shooting for 200 pounds, because that's what I would weigh with no fat on me, well, then I'm trying to get 200 grams of protein in my body in a day. This is to help me supplement to get that goal done. So I'll do those throughout the day. Creatine, not a fanboy of creatine. However, the studies I have, and I'll tell you why not before I moved on, is I saw a study where it showed mice were getting asthma. And then that same study showed that athletes, since creatine got introduced into the thing, were getting asthma too. But none of it could be related back, in the athletes, could be related back to creatine causing it. However, since the mice got it, I take that in consideration that, hey, we got an increase of it since this got in here. I'm not going to be hitting this every day. I do this on my days I work out to help make sure that my muscles are swollen, and I have during my recovery. On my days off, I don't do it. And when I say my days off, when I'm not working out, my recovery days, I do not use creatine. That's just me. You do you. So next is going to be, we got that. So now we got to eat real food and ground meats. I don't care if it's chicken. I don't care if any kind of poultry or it's pork. That's going to be easy. Why? Because it's already been broken down for us. We fail to chew our foods. And by failing to chew our foods, we do not get the nutrients out of it which we need. So to move on doesn't mean that you can't have, stuff like this. You just got to chew it up. You can have chicken, you can have lamb, you can have fish, shrimp, whatever you want. Just chew it up. Just realize it's not going to absorb into your system as well as ground foods, but you can't do ground foods all the time because life will get boring. So moving on. Next is going to be yogurts. Plenty of protein, 13 grams in that little container. Cottage cheese, another easy source for our body to absorb the proteins out of. Cottage cheese, if you do a third of this, is over 20 grams. There's easy. Here, now we're going to move in back into the solid foods. Livers, Liver is a different, it's not as, texture is not as hard. So it's going to be able to absorb easier into our system. However, it's like I told you a negative on that creatine. This has one slice, has like 23 grams of protein. Great, right? We're in there. However, if you have cholesterol issues, it's over 100% in that one slice for cholesterol. So keep that in mind. I eat organs. I have high cholesterol. I just don't do it daily. So I also do, for treats through the day, again, a type of supplement, I will do bars. These are kind of like a sweet treat, fun to have. It's processed food, so probably some bad things with it. But anyhow, I can get 17 grams of protein out of that. Beans. People forget about beans having protein. It doesn't just have fiber for us, it also has protein. If you're looking for the number one, I believe kidney beans have the highest grams of protein in it. But the only difference is like 2 grams difference between each bean. So that's really not going to matter when you're consuming it. So just pick the bean you like and put beans in. When you're going through the process of eating proteins, vegetables, all kinds of vegetables have proteins in there. But I don't look at them as going to be my main source. I will do like tofu on a salad because it has good proteins in it. But you have to do starches. And when I shouldn't say starches, you need carbs. So I do get my carbs through vegetables. I get my carbs and fiber in oats. I get my carbs through rice. I'm just not a huge bread guy for the fact that I love bread, don't get me wrong, but when I eat it, I seem to make it into fat for whatever reason. My body likes doing it. Your body might not. So you might not have to worry about that. And you can have bread as a source for some of your carbs. But cleaner, it's going to be your vegetables and carbs. So vegetables I like hitting because they have mineral benefits. Again, I'm not going to go over all the minerals. This is basically what you need to eat. So carbs, I get out of asparagus. I get it out of broccoli. I get it out of peas. Yeah, peas. And even corn has carbs. One of the superfoods of this world we have is spinach. So I do a spinach salad when I come home from work so I don't eat a ton of calories before I go to bed. What's bad? What can get you in spinach? It's some chemical called kidney stones. But you can beat that by just putting in something like feta or cheddar cheese. Some kind of dairy cheese will counteract that in raw spinach. So you can still have superfoods raw and get the full benefits of the nutrients, but just realize that some of them you might need to do a little bit of research on them because they may have a negative effect. To end it up, we need things that help our body to stop being inflamed since we beat it down when we worked out and tore all the muscle fibers up and we're trying to recover it. So inflammation could be a problem. So turmeric is going to be great for it. You can get turmeric in yellow mustard has turmeric. So just start looking at little things like that. Like, oh, you know what? I can add that if you don't like the taste of turmeric itself. And then you got your berries. Blueberry, I think, is number one to help out with that. And then you got your strawberries, I think, right in there next to it. So a lot of berries. So you can just research a little bit of berries. I stick pretty much with blueberries. And that is pretty much how you're going to be able to allow that body to recover. You're going to fill it with water, have proteins you can absorb easily. And then if you're doing a protein which takes a little bit more to absorb, you chew it down so it will absorb it easier. And then you have your carbs, because you got to have carbs. You don't want your body to ever turn proteins into carbs because then it's working when it doesn't need to be working at something. Make sure you put in some form of carb for you. And then a recovery is going to be in your berries, inflammation, I should say, berries and turmeric and other stuff like that. So that's how simple it can be for you. Go in the grocery store, find out the foods which you like, and is going to meet in this kind of a category which you make sure you're able to fulfill each of these needs for your body to have a bigger muscle recovery. You're not just going to have muscle recovery. You're going to have fat coming off with it because your muscles are getting bigger. And that means it's going to be burning more energy when you're exercising because more of your body is a bigger mass, causing more energy used. Well, it was fun. Hopefully this helps you out. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one. I'll check you later.